We've seen God speak and deal with Israel, and now we're going to see it with the rest of the nations, or some of the other nations, because when God says that He is in charge of all the nations, He means it. So, let's continue in our Bible in a year. We are on day 237. Yes, 237. Jeremiah chapter 46 is where we are. These last 2 days in Jeremiah are going to be busy, especially tomorrow. So let's jump right in. Chapter 46. This is the word of the Lord that came to the prophet Jeremiah about the nations, about Egypt and the army of Pharaoh, Necho, Egypt's king, which was defeated at Carchemish on the Euphrates River by King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon in the 4th year of Judah's king Jehoiakim, son of Josiah. Deploy small shields and large approach for battle. Harness the horses, mount the steeds, take your positions with helmets on, polish the lances, put on armor. Why have I seen this? They are terrified, they are retreating, their warriors are crushed, they flee headlong, they never look back. Terror is on every side. This is the Lord's declaration. The swift cannot flee, and the warrior cannot escape. In the north, by the bank of the Euphrates River, they stumble and fall. Who is this, rising like the Nile, with waters that churn like rivers? Egypt rises like the Nile, and its waters churn like rivers. He boasts, I will go. Alright, my camera froze. Okay, there we're good. He boasts, I will go up, I will cover the earth, I will destroy cities with their residents. Rise up, you cavalry. Race furiously, you chariots. Let the warriors march out. Cush and Put, who are able to handle shields, and the men of Lud, who are able to handle and string the bow. That day belongs to the Lord, the God of armies, a day of vengeance to himself against his adversaries. The sword will devour and be satisfied. It will drink its fill of their blood, because it will be a sacrifice to the Lord, the God of armies. In the northern land by the Euphrates River, go up to Gilead and get balm, virgin daughter Egypt. You have multiplied remedies in vain. There is no healing for you. The nations have heard of your dishonor, and your cries fill the earth, because warrior stumbles against warrior, and together both of them have fallen. This is what the word of the Lord spoke to the prophet Jeremiah about the coming of King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon to defeat the land of Egypt. Announce it in Egypt and proclaim it in Migdol. Proclaim it in Memphis and in Tahpanhes. Say, take positions, prepare yourself, for the sword devours all around you. Why have your strong ones been swept away? Each one not stood, or each has not stood, for the Lord has thrust him down. He continues to stumble. Indeed, even each falls over the other. They say, get up, let's return to our people and to our native land, away from the oppressor's sword. There they will cry out, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, was all noise. He let the opportune moment pass. As I live, this is the king's declaration. The Lord of armies is his name. The king of Babylon will come like Tabor among the mountains, and like Carmel by the sea. Get your bags ready for exile, inhabitants of daughter Egypt. For Memphis will become a desolation, uninhabited ruins. Egypt is a beautiful young cow, but a horsefly from the north is coming against her. Even her mercenaries among her are like stall-fed calves. They too will be turned back together. They will flee. They will not take their shield, or they will not take their stand. I cannot read. For the day of their calamity is coming on them, the time of their punishment. Egypt will hiss like a slithering snake, for the enemy will come with an army. With axes they will come against her, like those who cut trees. They will cut down her forest. This is the Lord's declaration. Though it is dense, for they are numerous, more numerous than locusts. They cannot be counted. Daughter Egypt will be put to shame, handed over to a northern people. The Lord of armies, the God of Israel, says, I am about to punish Ammon, god of Thebes, along with Pharaoh, Egypt, her gods, and her kings. Pharaoh and those trusting in him, I will hand them over to those who intend to take their lives, to King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon and his officers. But after this, Egypt will be inhabited against as in ancient times. This is the Lord's declaration. But you, my servant Jacob, do not be afraid and do not be discouraged, Israel. For without fail I will save you from far away, and your descendants from the land of their captivity. Jacob will return and have calm and quiet with no one to frighten him. And you, my servant Jacob, do not be afraid. This is the Lord's declaration. For I will be with you. I will bring destruction on all the nations where I have banished you, but I will not bring destruction on you. I will discipline you with justice, and I will by no means leave you unpunished. Chapter 46 or 47. This is the word of the Lord that came to the prophet Jeremiah about the Philistines before Pharaoh defeated Gaza. This is what the Lord says. Look, water is rising from the north and becoming an overflowing wadi. It will overflow the land and everything in it, the cities and their inhabitants. The people will cry out, and every inhabitant of the land will wail. At the sound of the stomping hooves of his stallions, the rumbling of his chariots, and the clatter of their wheels. Fathers will not turn back for their sons. They will be utterly helpless on account of the day that is coming to destroy all the Philistines, to cut off from Tyre and Sidon every remaining ally. Indeed, the Lord is about to destroy the Philistines, the remnant of the coastland of Caphtor. Baldness is coming from Gaza. Ashkelon will become a silent remnant of their valley. How long will you gash yourself? O sword of the Lord, how long will you be restless? Go back to your sheath. Be still, be silent. How can it rest when the Lord has given it a command? He assigned it against Ashkelon and the shore of the sea. Alright, that was a short one. But now, we're making up with it with a long one. It will definitely make up for it tomorrow. Okay. Chapter 48. About Moab, this is what the Lord of armies, the God of Israel, says. Woe to Nebo, because it is about to be destroyed. Kiriathaim will be put to shame. It will be taken captive. The fortress will be put to shame and dismayed. There is no longer praise for Moab. They plan harm against her in Heshbon. Come, let's cut her off from nationhood. Also, madmen, you will be silenced. The sword will follow you. A voice cries out from Horonaim, devastation and a crushing blow. Moab will be shattered. Her little ones will cry out. For on the ascent to Luhith, they will be weeping continually, and on the descent to Horonaim will be heard cries of distress over the destruction. Flee, save your lives, be like a juniper bush in the wilderness, because you trust in your works and treasures. You will also be captured. You will be captured also. Chemosh will go into exile with his priests and officials. The destroyer will move against every town. No one town will escape. The valley will perish, and the plain will be annihilated. As the Lord has said, make Moab a salt marsh, for she will run away. Her towns will become a desolation without inhabitant. The one who does the Lord's business deceitfully is cursed, and the one who withholds his sword from bloodshed is cursed. Moab has been left quiet since its youth, settled like wine on its dregs. It hasn't been poured from one container to another or gone into exile, so his taste has remained the same, and his aroma hasn't changed. Therefore, look, the days are coming. This is the Lord's declaration, when I will send pourers to him, who will pour him out. They will empty his containers and smash his jars. Moab will be put to shame because of Chemosh, just as the house of Israel was put to shame because of Bethel, that they trusted in. How can you say, we are warriors, valiant men for battle? The destroyer of Moab and its towns has come up, and the best of its young men have gone down to slaughter. This is the king's declaration. The Lord of armies is his name. Moab calamity is near at hand. His disaster is rushing swiftly. Mourn for him, all you surrounding nations, everyone who knows his name. Say, how the mighty scepter is shattered, the glorious staff. Come down from glory, sit on parched ground, resident of the daughter of Dibon. For the destroyer of Moab has come against you. He has destroyed your fortresses. Stand by the highway and watch, resident of Aurora. Ask him who is fleeing or her who is escaping. What happened? Moab is put to shame, indeed dismayed. Wail and cry out, declare by the Arnon that Moab is destroyed. Judgment has come to the land of the plateau, to Holon, Jaza, Mephath, Dibon, Nebu, Beth Diblathaim, Kirithaim, Beth Gamul, Beth Meon, Kirioth, Bozrah, and all the towns of the land of Moab, those far and near. Moab's horn is chopped off, his arm is shattered. This is the Lord's declaration. Make him drunk because he has exalted himself against the Lord. Moab will wallow in his own vomit, and he will also become a laughingstock. Wasn't Israel a laughingstock to you? Was he ever found among thieves? For whenever you speak of him, you shake your head. Abandon the towns, live in the cliffs, residents of Moab. Be like a dove that nests inside the mouth of a cave. We have heard Moab's pride, great pride indeed, his insolence, arrogance, pride, and haughty heart. I know his outburst. This is the Lord's declaration. It is empty. His boast is empty. Therefore, I will wail over Moab. I will cry out for Moab, all of it. He will moan for the men of Kir Heres. I will weep for you, vine of Sibmah, with more than the weeping for Jazer. Your tendrils have extended to the sea. They have reached the sea, and to Jazer the destroyer has fallen on your summer fruit and grape harvest. Gladness and celebration are taken from the fertile field and from the land of Moab. I have stopped the flow of wine from the wine presses. No one will tread with shouts of joy. The shouting is not a shout of joy. There is a cry from Heshbon to Elilah. They make their voices heard as far as Jahaz, from Zoar to Horonaim and Eglath Shelishia, because even the waters of Nimrim have become desolate. In Moab I will stop. This is the Lord's declaration. The one who offers sacrifices on the high places and burns incense to his gods. Therefore, my heart moans like flutes for Moab, and my heart moans like flutes for the people of Kir Heres. And therefore, the wealth he has gained has perished. Indeed, every head is bald, and every beard is chopped short. On every hand is a gash and sackcloth around the waist. On all the rooftops of Moab and in her public squares, everyone is mourning because I have shattered Moab like a jar no one wants. This is the Lord's declaration. How broken is it? They wail how Moab has turned back. He is ashamed. Moab will become a laughingstock and a shock to all those around him. For this is what the Lord says. Look, he will swoop down like an eagle and spread his wings against Moab. The towns have been captured and the strongholds seized. In that day, the heart of Moab's warriors will be like the heart of a woman with contractions. Moab will be destroyed as a people because he has exalted himself against the Lord. Panic, pit, and trap await you, residents of Moab. This is the Lord's declaration. He who flees from the panic will fall in the pit, and he who climbs from the pit will be captured in the trap. For I will bring against Moab the year of their punishment. This is the Lord's declaration. Those who flee will stand exhausted in Heshbon's shadow, because fire has come out from Heshbon and a flame from within Sihon. It will devour Moab's forehead and the skull of the noisemakers. Woe to you, Moab! The people of Chemosh have perished because your sons have been taken captive and your daughters have gone into captivity. Yet I will restore the fortunes of Moab in the last days. This is the Lord's declaration. The judgment on Moab ends here. And our reading for today ends here. Okay. reading done, and on to questions. Question 1: How does God's judgment on of Egypt and Moab show that his authority extends beyond his covenant people? I mean, this is what I was getting at in the opening line, right? God says that he is the God of nations. He is the God over all nations. Whether they submit to him or not, he has control over them. He is ultimately sovereign over everyone and everything. And we see that on display here when it comes to Egypt and Moab. So I think it does show God's power and God's true authority and sovereignty over even outside of Israel and Israel's borders. Question 2. Well, that also, that obviously we've talked about God's sovereignty with going out and kind of causing these other nations to come in and judge, or as a form of judgment against Israel. We've seen that. So we've seen I've got something in my eye. We've seen God's sovereignty there with those nations being used as judgment on Israel. So God's sovereignty over those nations is already on display. Now we're seeing God's sovereignty on those nations, kind of the reverse of or not quite the reverse, but the coin is flipped, right? And so now instead of them being used as judgment against Israel, they're being judged themselves. Question 2. What warnings can we take from Moab's pride and false security, and how does that apply to our culture today? We've kind of talked on this the last couple of days. Having a false sense of security in things or our talents or our possessions, job, whatever it is, having a false sense of security, having a sense of security in something other than God is ultimately a false sense of security. So, I mean, you can apply that to anything. You have a sense of security in your job, and resources you have, and abilities, talents. I mean, anything. And ultimately, if that is not placed in God, then it's a false sense of security, and it can be taken away. It can be knocked down. It can be done away with. And that goes for everything. For government, right? Government can be one. It can be resources. It can be a political party. It can be camera just froze. Audio, I think, is still good. I'll just keep going. It can be literally anything. Okay, there we go. I'm not sure how much of that is still in the video, but it can be literally anything. Question 2 or 3. Even in judgment, God hints at restoration. What does this reveal about his character and ultimate purposes? I think we see here that God ultimately wants to bring people back to him. And he uses these things, yes, as punishment, but also as a guiding rail to bring people back, right? We can see this in our own lives today. We see it with Israel in the Old Testament. We see it with individuals in the New Testament. We see it with people today. Something that can push somebody back to God very, very quickly is their life falling apart. Things that they put their trust in, was their sense of security done away with because whatever happens. And they're forced to come back to a point where they are um, trusting God again. They don't have anything else they can trust in. They have to trust in God. So, I think that is something we can see throughout Scripture. God often uses things like this to nudge people and push people back towards Him. So, alrighty, that is it for today. Tomorrow's the last day in Jeremiah. It is going to be a lengthy read. I'm gonna try next year maybe to try to find a way to spread this out, but it's just there's several long chapters at the end, all right next to each other, so it's kind of difficult to get. But we'll see. Tomorrow's going to be long though. Tomorrow is going to be long, but it's going to be good. The end of Jeremiah, and then we'll be moving on to Lamentations. So you're not going to want to miss it. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as all those things help the channel grow. If this has been a blessing to you, you can share it with somebody else. It can be a blessing to them, and word of mouth is the best way that podcasts grow as well. So that can be something that helps this channel as well. Come back every single day. We're going to have more content every single day. Bible reading plan. We're going through the Bible an entire year, different teachings, all kinds of just really great biblical sound stuff like that. So you're not going to want to miss it. Come back, subscribe. Thanks. God bless.